Hi guys, today's going to be a video about the 3D reality and is it an illusion? Is it completely factual and objective? What's the balance? What is it actually reflecting to help you guys gain a better understanding of how manifestation works, the reflection in your 3D reality. So I'm going to get into that video today and talk about rather that topic in this video is what I meant to say. Tell you guys why the 3D and how the 3D reality is an illusion, in what ways, and how to shift it in your favor. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please do keep watching. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming uploads, because I very, very regularly upload and post about manifestation. So you can also coach with me if you would like to get one-on-one support. I do offer one-on-one coaching. That's all I have right now. I don't offer any group work yet. I might do like group coaching sessions eventually, but for now you get personal one-to-one coaching as well as some digital products that you can purchase. So if you're interested, click the link in my description box, which is Instagram LOA Coaching. That's my coaching page. You can get all the information there, or you can reach out to me via email as well. Without further ado, now let's start the video. What the 3D reality is doing is reflecting your dominant thoughts and beliefs. So dominant thoughts is pretty much the same as your assumptions and beliefs, because they are automated, they're coming to your mind and kind of popping up as a thought automatically based on what you believe, what you assume. If you see someone do something you don't like in public, and let's say you have an assumption about someone wearing a red coat and this person's wearing a red coat, you think, oh my gosh, why is it always people wearing a red coat doing this? Whatever the case may be, that's just one random example, but you will have assumptions tied to what you see reflected in your reality. Usually it will be the same themes repeating themselves, certain relationships showing you certain things, whether it's your family behaving a certain way, but then your friends behaving a certain way, it's because of your beliefs and assumptions. So it's your dominant thoughts that come up repetitively, tied into your beliefs, your assumptions, and just how you normally think. If you've had a very prominent, specific negative memory because of an experience you've had, that will probably play over and over in your mind, at least a little bit now and again. And it will possibly also reflect in your reality in one way or another. So it is a reflection of what you believe and how your mind has been conditioned to think. Of course, the physical experience does objectively exist. You are living your life, you are going through the physical reality, you are experiencing certain things with your SP, with your friends, in your career, whatever the case may be. That is, objectively happening. It's not that you're imagining it, visualizing it. You are experiencing that physical life, but what it is showing you is an illusion, because it is not objective, permanent fact. It is malleable, meaning that it can change, it can be shaped by you. It's not something that is objectively there as a fact. It can shift in a moment. If you start shifting your beliefs, one moment to the next, everything could change. So let's say you've been affirming for 3 weeks, and then suddenly one day your experience with what you've been affirming for changes to something really positive. That is your new beliefs taking shape and taking form, and it's being reflected in your reality. So the beliefs that you are now creating in your subconscious is reflecting out in your physical reality. By repeating that new reality in your mind with affirmations or visuals, whatever format you do that in, that new reality that you're creating and convincing yourself of is being altered and shaped in your physical reality. So one example, let's say you want to improve relationships with your friends or family, right? I'm going pretty general here to give you an example, but let's say you want to improve those relationships and you are affirming, all my relationships are perfect, all the relationships in my life are perfect, and you've been doing that for a week straight and you've been really diligent with it. And then you start seeing friends and family reaching out to you, complimenting you, asking you to meet up, telling you really nice, lovely, sweet things. That is your reality being shaped and altered to give you positive experiences that reflect the new positive beliefs you're creating. So as soon as you start to shift your beliefs, that's when your physical reality stops being this objective fact and starts becoming temporary, because it will start to shift to hopefully what's more positive. Because if you're working on your affirmations, you're being consistent, you're putting in the effort, then your 3D reality will reflect that, and it will also start to become more positive, reflect the affirmation more directly. If it's something very specific and tangible, you may receive that as a full result. Or if it's about relationships and the dynamics with your SP, with your best friend, whoever it may be, you will start to see that shift in the experiences you have, in the way you think and feel about that relationship as well. So the physical reality as it is in its old version will become temporary and shift into that malleable, constantly changing state where it's no longer this objective fact that I don't have the relationship I want, you know, this person doesn't behave in this way or that way. It will start to reflect that more and more, and therefore whatever you thought the 3D reality was and whatever you thought was true in your life as a negative, in its negative form, will shift. And that is what makes it an illusion, because as soon as you start to shift the way you think and the beliefs you hold, the 3D reality, by law of assumption, has to also shift to reflect that. And the way this is done, which I talk about in so many other videos, but to summarize it, is through consistent repetition. Being consistent, persisting in your manifestation, repeating over and over, day in, day out, that you have this new version. That is how the 3D reality is an illusion, because it will have to shift to what you're repetitively focusing on. So it may seem like the 3D reality has just always shown this negative thing in this one area of your life, and for years you've just experienced the same thing, you felt disappointed, whatever the case may be. You will find that actually, by starting to change the way I think, and no longer just accepting and dwelling on these negative states and assuming it's just the way life is, there's nothing I can do. You say, actually, I do have control over my life. I'm going to start saying that this area of my life is perfect and exactly as I want it to be, and amazing and fulfilling. And you say that and focus on that idea over and over, and you think as if you already have that. It will start to change, and you will realize, actually, the only reason it was this objective, factual, negative state in my life is because I believed that and I didn't contradict it with anything positive. So the 3D reality is pretty much all based for ourselves as individuals on our individual perspective. Whatever each of us believe and think life gives us, or areas of our life will reflect, you know, whether it's I'm not going to progress in this career, I can't have my dream job because of XYZ, you know, whatever beliefs you hold, it's all down to our individual perspective. So if you think your job is really difficult and unenjoyable, guess what experiences are going to continue to come up in your day-to-day life? We can even interpret things differently. For example, if you hold negative beliefs about your SP and then your SP doesn't reply to your text message for like 3 hours, it's been 3 hours since you messaged them last and they haven't yet replied to what you said, you can interpret that because you have a negative old story as they're ghosting me, they're not interested, oh my gosh, they're probably on a date with someone else. Like, you can think up all these worst case scenario things just because of the beliefs your mind is conditioned to accept and that it's been holding for months or years or however long. And because you believe, okay, subconsciously my belief is SP doesn't commit to me, and then you don't get the response by text, as I just said, your mind will probably automatically start to think worst case scenario, not just, oh, do you know what? It's a busy day. You know, I remember they mentioned something about going out with friends. I'm sure they're just, you know, chatting with friends at the moment. And as soon as they see it, they'll get back to me. It's absolutely nothing personal. It's hard for us to think that way, but that's the type of mindset and thought process that your mind will start to shift to when you persist, when you apply repetition, when you really start to condition your mind to think from the new version, because we interpret things based on our beliefs. So that's why the repetition is so important. If you have a lot of negative beliefs and assumptions and negative memories, then your mind will just find a way to reflect that in the 3D reality, as I just said. It will come about in your 3D reality as like this negative perpetual cycle, and the way you break it is, like I said, through repetition. So I'm going to finalize and finish up this video with a Neville Goddard quote that I came across. I'll read it out to you and then kind of give like a short interpretation that I have of it. It's quite self-explanatory. I think he's quite detailed, but sometimes it can be, though his wording is it's like, yeah, it's not the easiest to interpret always, so I'll just give you a few of my thoughts on it, but I'm sure you guys will be able to connect with it. An awakened imagination works with a purpose. It creates and conserves the desirable and transforms or destroys the undesirable. And that's by Neville Goddard. I think I said that Neville Goddard, but yeah. So basically it means that when you awaken your imagination, so when you start imagining and visualizing the dream version in your life that you want, there is a purpose. You know what you want. You're looking at it with not tunnel vision necessarily, but you're working with a specific end goal in mind. So you know what you want, you hold that image and idea in your mind, and then it creates and continues what you want, what you desire, and then removes and just lets go of the undesirable. So the same thing is the case for your 3D reality. You will start to see the desirable reflected, so what you desire and the goal that you have envisioned in your mind, and it will start to stop showing, basically, cut off those negative experiences. But it takes repetition and persistence. So that is the end of today's video. I hope it was useful and clarifying for you guys. If you enjoyed then please do thumbs up and subscribe and turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye!